Right, everyone, we're back. Um,
Indeed, we are. And we were just about to continue our discussion. We've discussed the role of a man, but I thought we should touch on the subject. We also discussed the role of a baby daddy.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I think we might have. Did we finish discussing that? I think
Well,
we,
no,
we
I don't think so. I mean, T was giving his thing about the woman in the video.
yeah.
Evidently, she doesn't like us showing her acting like a dumbass, so she blocked the video. I guess I
I'm
don't know. I
sure.
don't know, but no, I think she's completely in the wrong.
Oh,
Um,
completely.
yeah, if he is not, if they're not together in a relationship, meaning the man and the woman there, it's not his responsibility to provide for those other kids. Is it a nice gesture if he knows that they're not getting McDonald's to do it? Yeah, for sure. But it's not his job to do that.
Yeah.
And you know,
Can't-
it's not his fault that you don't get your food stamps for another few days, like she's, because which one thing she said in the video. And I don't know, I get it, but I have my thoughts when it comes to step parents and things like that, just because I've been through that. I was a stepchild to a man and a woman, and I've been a stepfather, still am a stepfather. So I got, I have opinions on that vary from some people. So
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, she definitely went about it wrong. But the point is, I understand what she was trying to say. In that, I'm still not clear what she should have done. In the fact that, except of course, have a chat with him in a better way. But going forward, if he's unwilling to buy for the other kids, what should she do? Should she just give the food to the one child? That's the
I
question I'm trying to.
mean, you know, yes, but
Oh,
maybe, I don't know, take him into another room or something like that so the other kids don't see it. I don't know, because I understand the whole thing where you're depriving the other kids of getting, and you're not depriving. I mean, you're not depriving them of it. Go out and get some food for them. I mean, whatever. But you are then depriving that other kid of having that his father got for him and is providing for him.
the
I
needs
mean,
of the many outweigh the needs of the one.
mm,
So it also depends
that's
on the
not the needs of the
situation
many. That's her. She's the one depriving them. That's on her. She should be providing that, not him. It's not his job.
because I mean, we don't know all the details to why she had a problem with it. So the fact that you know his son was getting McDonald's over the kids not getting McDonald's might just be the thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's like, um he's getting a treat opposed to what the rest of his siblings are getting. You know what I mean? So
Needs,
I'm
but yeah.
assuming that might be the case. But the way she was saying it, she made it seem like uh his son was the only one eating, and
Right.
that's his fault. You know what I mean? Like, as the mother who's, currently, housing the kid or whatever, you like that's your responsibility as a parent to provide for your children, even if they're negligent or whatever. Regardless to what anybody else, you know what I'm saying, you gave birth to this child. So I mean, make it seem like you're an unfit mother if you can't provide. Now I understand things come up, but you got to stop making excuses. That's like almost like trying to force somebody else's hand to do what you should be doing already. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
For
she
sure.
said what? She said I have 3 other kids, so you're talking $9 for them to get a burger and fries and a drink from McDonald's. If you can't spare $9 to get your kids something from McDonald's, you probably shouldn't be having kids. I mean, that's
Well, that's probably agree as well. But then you could argue the same thing. $9. If it's only $9, would it be so difficult for the guy to give $9 and buy the rest of the kids
well, I would
Happy Meal?
venture to
Would you?
say it's speculative, but I would venture to say that this is the first time she's brought that up to him, that she acted like this the first time. And at
Yes.
which point you can't fault him for that, because
Oh no, no.
he is
Again,
a
I'm
man.
not
Yeah.
faulting him at all. I'm not faulting him at all. I'm just asking, what should they do, or what should she do going forward? Should she if he refuses to, because he said they're not my kids, which again,
Well-
they're not his kids, but if he refuses to buy for the rest, I mean, in other words, should she say to him, okay, well, if that's the case, don't bother to buy at all, because
Man,
I can't give
com-
one child and not the others. I mean, surely she's got a point about giving to one child and not the rest.
Well, why?
Well, no, I mean they're her kids, not his. So that point is moot, in my opinion, because he's not giving. He shouldn't be giving to the other kids. She should be doing that. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I just is she in the right to say, fine, he's not allowed to have McDonald's anymore? Yeah, if he's at her house, then he's not allowed to have McDonald's. If the other ones can't, fine, that's her rule. She's allowed to make that rule. At which point the dad should just come by and pick him up, take him to the park, let him eat the McDonald's, and bring him back or something like that. I'm fine with that. But it's
That
tried to do that. She wouldn't let him.
No, right. Probably. I believe, yes, if I remember correctly, she wouldn't let him do that. Yes. And so that's a ridiculous thing. I mean, this is, I don't know. To me, this doesn't fall under that needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few thing, because it's not a need. This is a dad giving his son a treat, and it's, again, her responsibility to provide the rest if she doesn't want them to be without. I mean, I think that if he just says, fine, I'll buy it for the rest of them, well, now he's rewarding poor behavior in her, which I think is hurting those kids more, because the more someone has things provided for them that they don't have to do for themselves, the less likely they are to ever step up and provide those things. In most cases, not in all cases, but in general, that's how most organisms on this planet work. That's why if you go into a public park, you're not supposed to feed the animals, because they get reliant upon people just dropping off food for them, and they forget how to go out and get it for themselves. I mean, it works the same way with humans. If you give somebody stuff for free all the time, then when you take that away, they don't know how to go get it on their own.
Yeah, I fear she's already lost that capability.
Emma Ladson's made a good point. She could have asked in a nicer way, which I totally agree with.
Of course.
If he'd
that's what I said. The way she went about it, I said it was wrong. But the gist of what she said, did she have a point? That was really all I was asking.
Cynthia Hughes says she needs a job.
Oh boy.
With 4 kids, that's just not going to happen, is it?
Yeah.
With 4 kids, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, because Andrew Smith says there's a lot of jobs out there. So just get one of those.
Sure. All right. Shall we touch on this other subject? We haven't got long to go, with half an hour or just over half an hour. I'll still ask a question then. So the second subject was pretty deep, but going to ask it anyway, and we'll do our best to answer this question. And the question is quite simply, why are we here? What are we here for? So again, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. T, let me start with you. Why are we here?
Well, I'm here because of two people's drunken night of passion, and 9 months later, out pops me. But in a proverbial sense, I got 2 ways of looking at it. My initial way is, we are here to essentially, evolve, pass down shared knowledge, education, life lessons on to the next generation, and, grow as a species. Another way I got to look at it as, we are here for someone else's entertainment. Interstellarly, because if I was a alien life form and I could watch Earth like a TV show, it would be my favorite show of all time. And that's just me.
Nice. So what about you, Joe? What's your take on this question?
I'm not 100% sure why we're here.
That's
do
interesting.
think. What did you go? What? What'd you say?
No, sorry, I'm saying that's interesting because you've got a religious background.
Yeah. I mean, I do believe in God, but I don't know that I believe in God as being the, definitely not the white gray bearded man in the sky. But I don't, is this an omnipotent spirit? Is it an alien overlord? Is it someone that designed us as a simulation? I don't know, but I do believe in a higher power. Um, very similar to kind of a Judeo-Christian faith, but I don't know why we're here, because I think very much so if we're here because of why I was taught we were here, that's a bullshit reason, and I don't like it.
And what was the reason that you were taught that we were here?
We were taught that we were here only to worship God. And that sounds quite selfish, and it doesn't sound indignant. It doesn't sound loving. Like we were also taught that God was a loving God, and that doesn't sound very loving. So, I do think partially we're here to advance the species. But then again, I could also argue, why is Earth trying to kill us all the time if we're supposed to be advancing the species? I mean, there's been enough plagues and enough disease and famine and things like that it is almost as though Earth is trying to get rid of us. So, I could make the argument that we're not here to advance the species, that I can make the argument that we're a parasite on the Earth. So I don't know for sure.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting answer. So,
what did you expect me to say?
Well, that's just it. That's the whole idea of this question, that there's no right answers, no wrong answers. I don't know what you're going to say, because it's one of those questions which I'm assuming everyone at some stage of their life asks the question. Some people will be asking that question on a regular basis. Sure. But I was just interested in what your answers would be, basically, because I thought your answer, well, I don't know, Jay, because of your religious background, I thought you may have steered more towards, I know we're here, I know, not so much to worship God.
To do God's work.
Maybe I thought that maybe the idea of being religious is that you seek out God to find your purpose. I thought your answer may have been more along that line. So it took me a little bit of time to get there, T, because it is a deep question.
Yeah. And she says it's an impact question.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, I thought that, but my answer is probably more along the lines of that. I know I don't say that we're a mistake, but yeah, an accident is just something. I believe that I don't think there is a purpose or reason why we're here. A purpose is a different question, which I'll come to. But I think the question of why we're here, I don't think that there is a reason why we're here. That's my answer to that question. But that leads on to my next question then, is what is our purpose, which isn't the same, is not the same question as why we're here.
Our purpose?
Yes. Do you think it's the same question?
I don't think it's necessarily the same question. It could be answered the same.
No, I think it's much different.
Okay.
I think a person's meaning and a person's purpose is something totally different, But I mean, back to the original question, what if you had the opportunity to ask God and he was like, you just happened, that can happen. I'm not saying it's necessarily true, because the answer to that question isn't definitive because of the trillions of possibilities. Think about how many times you asked a question or you got an answer to a question, and then that gave you so many more questions on top of that.
That's why it's a good question to ask, because there's so many questions that can come from it. And yeah, and because you guys have answered that question to the best of your abilities, that I guess that is why I've breached on to the next question about purpose. So yeah, Joey, you're not
I,
sure of why we're here, but what about our purpose?
I don't know. I don't know. I could speculate that it's to be better. I could speculate, just like I said earlier, to advance the species. I could, I don't know. I mean, I think one of the best things you can do as far as raising your kids is raise them to not be an asshole. And I think I could tie that back into what is our purpose, is to be a good people, to be a good person. But that doesn't feel like much of a purpose, because it's not hard to be good. Like that's not a hard thing to do. So I would think that our purpose would be a little more difficult than that.
Of course, some would argue in this present life we're living, to be good isn't that easy at all.
I don't know. I mean,
that's a choice. Being good or being bad is a choice.
I don't know.
It's not necessarily something.
My general answer when somebody asks me what do I think the meaning of life is or whatever is because it's not that I don't like to talk about it, it's that I don't know. And so I can only talk in circles so long as I usually just say 42 and leave it at that, but which is it's from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But it's I don't know. It's something I could speculate and talk about and form opinions on, but in reality, I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, and that's why
such a difficult question.
Yeah.
When you asked me, I thought, am I stupid? But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what our purpose is.
Yeah.
But
maybe that's the beauty of it all. Maybe once we find out our purpose, we cease to exist.
Oh, damn.
Well, so far, I figured out that my purpose is to kind of be life's proverbial punching bag. I have been the center of so many wild and crazy stories and misadventures, but I've also been, lucky enough to be someone that someone needed, in a time in their life where they were without or without her. You know what I mean? So, it's kind of different for every person involved. Some people they created the internet. Some people, some guy decided to make a fast food place that served burgers that took 2 seconds to make, and now you got McDonald's. Somebody decided to steal a slave's recipe for 11 herbs and spices, and now we got Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know what I mean? So I think everyone's purpose is different and unique to their own. Finding purpose, that's a whole different thing. Sometimes people don't even recognize, what impact they have on other people's lives. You know what I mean?
All right. So for me, that's a pretty good answer. But I think for me, and I say that because my next question, you've really touched on my next question. Because for me, I think that our purpose is just to continue life. That's our purpose, just to procreate. That's really that's all we really need to do. Everything else is just filling time. The only thing we should really need to do is to make sure that life continues, and to do that is to procreate.
So if you're infertile, are you useless?
Never useless. But I guess like you said, you can make your own purpose, or you can. But I think that's the one thing that if we didn't all do, then life ends. Apart from that, no matter what you do, life continues.
But for the earth, to ensure that there is something like a caretaker, like looking after the earth, so that there is something there for our kids to have.
That would be something nice, but it's quite clear that we're not caretakers because
that's right.
That's
I mean, but I could argue against what you're saying. Like, we're here to continue life, because the more people that are born, the worse off the planet is. I mean,
well, again, really, I guess that maybe it's because of the way we're living life, but I don't think
but really I don't see it getting any better.
Second.
I don't see it getting any better.
Maybe, that's my point, but that's because of maybe that's just simply the way that we've chosen to live.
Well,
things
but if you look at it that way, and it's because it sounds like you're thinking more along an evolutionary type path of we're to continue life. That's our purpose as a human, to continue the human race. Then
Yes.
that goes back to what I said about maybe we're a parasite, because if we're supposed to continue life, and by continuing life we're killing the earth, to me that's the epitome of parasite. I mean,
yeah,
I you know,
yeah, and yeah, I have to admit that's a valid point. We could be parasites, but you know, even the parasite, I guess its instincts is still to live. You know, whether we're parasites or not, I would assume that as a species, that should be our main aim, to survive, to live,
yeah,
regardless of
I
what.
mean,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I think everyone's that way. I mean, it's so this is interesting to me. I heard this week, and maybe you guys knew this. I didn't, but I heard it talking about coyotes. So I don't know if you know what a coyote is. I don't know if you guys have coyotes in the UK or not. I don't know.
We've got it, but I know where they are. Are
Okay,
they just
okay,
like?
okay. That's fine.
No,
I don't.
they have werewolves there, Joey.
Well, I
I'm
was
saying,
trying.
what is the difference between a coyote and like a wolf? Is there a
Yeah.
difference?
It's different. A coyote is much smaller. It's different. It just, I don't know, but that coyotes do a roll call at night. Like once one of them will howl, the rest of the pack will answer, and that's how they know who's still alive or who's still around and with them, and because they keep their pack about the same size. And during mating season, when mating season rolls around, if they do the call and some another one doesn't answer, naturally the female, when they get pregnant, will naturally have a larger litter to replace the ones missing. But if everyone is still around, then she may have a litter of 2 or 3. But if there are other animals missing, then she'll have 7, 8, or 9 pup litter. And so that kind of makes me think of this, what you said, as far as we're here to advance the species and continue life. But I don't know that that's a good thing. I mean, I truly believe that the world would be better off if there were less people on it.
Can I just interject? Robert Mabry says, "We are here to find out who and what we are. The earth is our testing ground. We have a heavenly family, and our families here on earth."
Who was that?
Robert Mabry.
Thanks, Robert. I like that.
Um,
Different view.
And we've got Alfaro Clark Walker. He says, "The whole world is a stage."
Is that song?
It is. And Bobby Whitaker, he says, "The universe is experiencing itself through your eyes." That must have been a response to someone.
All right. Okay. So we discussed purpose. So again, I can ask this: is it the same question then as what's the meaning of life, or what is the reason to live?
I could argue either way.
Say that again.
You said, what's the reason to live?
Yeah. What's the reason to live? Is that a dumb question? What's your reason to live?
I guess it's better than being dead, you know? I mean,
is that it then? Is that the only reason why you live then?
I don't know. Some days I think being dead might be better.
I
think get some rest.
I think being dead is a reward for living a full life. You know what I mean? So
that's very poetic, but of course, there's people that died that didn't get a chance to live a full life.
Yeah, I'm not saying, or maybe they got their chips cashed out early. I don't know. You know, I can't speak for everybody, but I would like to say, out of the 300 bad days, you know, the other 65 good days are worth it. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's just the way it is. I mean, you could envy somebody who's rich and, you know, flies around the world, you know, goes shopping or whatever, never has to do any physical work a day in their life. But then again, you hear a lot about those people being miserable, or they're strung out on drugs, or they're dealing with depression or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
And then you got someone who's living on Skid Row, who doesn't have a care or worry in the world. They live in a nomad lifestyle, and they probably one of the happiest people you ever met. You know, they say homeless people are the closest people to God. You know, so it all depends on how you view your life. Is it worth
Well,
sustaining it, or is it not worth enough to, continue?
I definitely agree that it's all about a frame of mind. That I definitely agree with. But I've written down here, what is a reason to live? I've written down here 4 things. You need to find a worthy purpose to live or significant life goal to aim for. You need to have sufficient understanding of who you are, what life demands of you, and how you can play a significant role in that life. Only you can decide what your purpose and what are the things you want to accomplish during your lifetime, and you will enjoy a deeper sense of significance and satisfaction once you have recognized your purpose and or actively pursue a worthy life goal. So I guess what I'm trying to say there is that the meaning of life will be different for everyone, which I think is roughly what you were saying before. But I don't think purpose and the meaning of life are the same. But for meaning of life, or what's the reason to live, I think that's different for everyone. I think everyone has to find that. And again, I think similar to what somebody was saying, it's like a pursuit. It's something that you have to be looking to achieve something, and then once you achieve it, or you feel like you've achieved it, then that gives you that mental state that makes you feel as if
So that's your purpose.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah, makes you think that's your purpose. Yeah, what is the reason to live?
Yeah. So you have to have a purpose to live.
Yeah, you have to find it, I guess, which is what T was touching on before. But it's going to be quite. So T.
I was gonna say it's all about balance. I think, like, I had a discussion about something similar like this not too long ago, and um, it made me think about, what I consider to be some of my worst days, like when I feel like my back is against the wall and nothing's going right, and I just just want to crawl into a deep black hole and don't come out. You know, is me having a bad day contributing to someone having a good day after they were where I am right now? You know what I mean? So is it like that? Like, I mean,
It's
that's
like
the only way
karma.
I consider it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say it's that. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily we're connected in any way. Like, it's not somebody that I did wrong in the
Yeah,
past,
no, you're talking about the
and
balance
and
of life.
then yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, think about it. They say every day someone dies, and then they also say every day a baby is born.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So that's balance. Like, I
Well,
don't
according to Joey, that's
understand
what happens.
how.
According to Joey, more people are being born and less people are dying, according to Joey.
I mean,
And,
for
but
sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I
I
don't
mean,
know.
but
I don't. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, for instance, how is it possible with people who watch the news every day, people who pay bills and stuff like that? How is it possible that every day someone gets into a car accident, knowing they should be on their phone texting, knowing they shouldn't be eating and driving, knowing they should be paying attention, knowing they shouldn't get on the road drunk or get on the road too sleepy or on certain medication? Like, how is it possible that every day there's a car accident? You know what I mean?
I mean, you could argue that that's part of the whole survival of the fittest thing. I mean, the ones that aren't doing the dangerous things are living longer, and you know,
All right, so look at it like this. Imagine a world where everything went like it should. You know, no car accidents, everyone went to work, everyone made it home safe, no one died, people were born and stuff like that, right? What would you consider that?
Say it again. Say it one more time.
I said, imagine the world where everything went perfectly and nothing went wrong, nothing negatively impacted the world. Like, how would you view that?
For me, that tells me then there's nothing to achieve. And I think, like you were saying, you go through these hard times and stuff like that. But I always thought that that's part of life, and that's what it is. You struggle, you get over those hurdles, and you look back and you say, yeah, this is what I've achieved. And as you get older, you can look back on all those things, and nothing good comes easy. And that's it. And that's what you're doing. You're achieving things. You're etching out your purpose or the reason why you're here. And that's what I always look at as those problems that you go through. They're just hurdles of life that you have to go through in order to get from where you are to where you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, fire quenches steel, hardens steel. I mean, it's the struggle is what makes you a stronger, better person. Better may not be the right word, but I mean, there's no such thing as failure unless you don't, learn from it and try again. So,
yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. My perspective on it is that if everything went according to plan, then someone would be bored, and that's not entertainment. So, in order to be entertained, something has to go askew.
Sure.
I've got a response from Anzans. She says, life, embracing every opportunity to learn, grow, teach, to leave my mark on the world. A deep conversation. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Thanks, Anzan. Always good to hear from you.
Thank you.
So I guess my last question is, what is meaningful and valuable in life then? So we've really sort of touched on a few stuff here, but yeah, what is, we're talking about the meaning of life and stuff that we're trying to achieve and the reason to live. So, so what is meaningful? Basically, what is meaningful in life to you?
Love,
I think
family and friends.
I agree with Joey. I think that peace and happiness is the most, and time, honestly, some of the most invaluable things that we have. And I think not everyone feels the same way because they value things over people and over being decent and stuff like that. So I think that answer is going to vary from person to person, honestly. But
yeah, I think freedom is another big one. Like that's a meaningful thing to have as well.
Freedom. That's another subject in itself. What is freedom? Are we free?
Yeah, I think
money can buy freedom.
I think the idea of freedom varies from person to person. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, it's what's important to me is freedom, and however I define that for me. But I mean, for me, the most important thing is friends and family, love.
Yeah. You've actually named the three that I've got written down. I've got family, friends, and loved ones, and you said love, family, and friends. That's interesting.
I would love a little freedom from debt.
For sure.
That's what I would love. I'm pretty sure my friends and family would love that too.
Yeah. Did you play the lottery this week?
Somebody in Illinois hit it for 1.2 billion.
Yeah.
Piss me off.
Billion.
Yeah.
UK.
Billions nowadays.
But now, if they take the lump sum, they're only going to get about 600 million. So
is that all?
That's all. That's it. And then after the government taxes them, they'll get about 250, 300 million. So.
Peace, love, and happiness. That's what's important to Emma Ladson.
All right. Yeah. See, I've got that as well. To be satisfied, content, and happy.
Audrey Haynes says, living means different things to different people. My time is the most valuable thing to me.
My question is, where you been, Audrey? Where you been? That's my question to you. But nice to hear from you. So, all right. So again, I'm asking about what's meaningful and valuable in life. So, what about stuff like a house and car and money? Isn't that valuable in life?
It depends
It's
on how
an
you want.
it's an option depending on your situation,
It's
because my
valuable
memories,
monetarily.
yeah, my memories are some of my most precious things. So
Yeah,
when I'm not feeling valued, or I'm, feeling like, down or whatever, I can always go back to my memories when I wasn't that way, or use my imagination to escape that. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
a strong mind is something I value as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure,
yeah.
for
I
sure.
mean, experiences are more important to me than stuff. I mean, I've got stuff, but it, an experience and a memory is way more important to me than things. I mean, so yeah, you can put a monetary value on having a house and a car and things like that, but that's not, you can't take it with you. So
But of course,
yeah.
money can greatly assist you in creating great memories.
sure, but I still
Yeah.
argue that the memory is the more valuable thing there.
For sure.
I've had more fun doing broke people things than I did in a person with money.
Yeah.
Mm,
So it,
like
it all
what broke people
depends.
things? What broke people things did you do then? That was so great.
Uh I I went to
Walking down the
a
road hand in hand with the one you love. You're gonna be talking about that kind of stuff, is it?
no, this isn't
Pushing your girlfriend around in her wheelchair while she goes to pick up her leg.
this is in the TV series. No, I went to I guess you can call it a house party, where the occupants took all the furniture out of the house and decided to build a bonfire out of it, and they were all jumping off of the roof into a man-made pool in the backyard. Um,
You
there
really live a
were yeah, it
I don't
was
know
it
that I call
was
that broke people stuff. That sounds like redneck stuff.
life. Yeah. They got a garage full of new stuff.
why aren't the two mutually exclusive is all I'm saying.
Hey.
Things happen, you know what I mean? And this is somebody that I met randomly that invited me to this thing. And this is like, when I was younger, I used to take excursions on the weekend, and I used to go to the airport, pick a random city and a flight I could afford, and I would just go there for the weekend and explore. And that happened, doing that. So flight was like $79, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I flew to Aspen or Hawaii or, Barcelona or something like that. It was all, nationally. And I didn't spend more than maybe $200 that weekend. And that was really just like rental car and food and stuff like that. So it's all about how you choose to spend your time.
6 minutes ago, I got here life goals for success and happiness. Find your life purpose. I think we touched on that. Be healthy and fit. I guess that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Have good friends, family, relationships, and love. I think Joey touched on all those.
Yeah.
Enjoy life's hobbies and passions. I think that might be something that T was kind of alluding to. But look at this one. Develop financial freedom.
See, there's that
And to me,
freedom.
that makes sense. To me, that makes sense. To me, that makes sense. And I'm assuming, T, before you disagree, you mentioned about being free from debt. So I'm assuming you'd be a little happier if you didn't have debt. You'd be a little happier if you could develop financial freedom.
I would be less worried opposed to being
Well,
happier.
that's
I would
that's
be I
that's the
would be
same.
happier if I had a cougar taking care of me. But
Wouldn't we all? Oh, dear.
yeah.
So number 7 says here, number 6 says having a meaningful career.
I mean, that's
What's on that?
nice. That helps things for sure. It helps if you like your job. It helps things.
Yeah, I
Okay.
thought so.
I
I
mean,
thought so.
if I could find my own island and live off my land and not have to worry about the daily BS, I would be content,
Live on the
depending
island.
on who
Well,
I got there with me. You know,
Ah.
I would definitely be happy.
Look, the last man that had his own island ended up dead in prison, so be careful.
So we're not talking
was
about
that?
that.
Who was that?
Epstein's island.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
oh yeah.
yes,
Okay.
okay.
Oh, he's so
Okay.
cryptic. So cryptic.
And then to answer to rebuttal that, Joey, there are currently over 70 islands for sale across the world. So,
Well,
and then there's people who own
let's
those
do a
islands.
crowdfunding. Let's crowdfund an island. Let's buy ourselves a something for the weekend island. We'll just broadcast.
So
Yeah.
Yay.
Let's go ring to it.
Yeah.
There are some off the coast of America, and there are islands for sale under $1 million. So, just food for thought.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right.
So
Okay.
you looked into it then, T.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I owe somebody an island, and that's why I always play the lottery. And
but that's another
I
story.
always thought about myself as well. Yeah.
All right, number 8 is travel the world, which is, how important is that to travel?
That sounds like a great time to me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
well, number
it's a
9.
luxury, but it's great for memories.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, number 9 is have a great lifestyle, house, vacation, cars. But again, that takes money.
That just makes life easier. Sure.
And the last one, leave a legacy.
That's the most important one to me. I've been asked before what's my greatest fear, and my greatest fear is not being remembered. That's my biggest fear, is that when I leave this world, it's not going to take a long time before I'm not a thought to anyone.
Because the reality is that we will all be forgotten.
Eventually, sure, but I mean, I'm talking about soon. Like that my wife and kids in a couple of years really won't think about me that much. And I want to leave a mark. I want to be remembered for something, and I don't have to be remembered for, inventing, splitting the atom or anything like that. But I want to be remembered for something.
See, that's worrying, isn't it? Because people in America, when they talk like that, we know what they end up going and doing, don't we?
What's that?
Yeah, you guys go and shoot up a school and shit, isn't it? That's what you guys are going to do.
I can't.
Broadly speaking, I'm talking in broad strokes.
I can't speak for. Yeah, I can't speak for everybody else. Oh, sorry.
I love great music, friendship, fun times, and laughter.
Hey, Emma, that's a nice ring to it. That's a nice ring to it. All right, looks like we've run out of time. Any final thoughts before we quickly dash off?
This was this is a bit different. Not as many laughs as normal, but it's still good conversation. I enjoy this from time to time, for sure.
Okay. T?
It
was a bit different, and I think that was the idea, to try and get a little bit more serious with our discussions. We've been having some light conversations the last couple of sessions, so I thought we'd go in, as they say.
I think all topics of discussion today were great. I appreciate the depth and the fans' reaction and comments. So, I appreciate everybody involved with today's events. It was great, in my opinion.
Can I just read out the last comment
from
sure. Audrey Haynes? Joey, how will we know if you have been forgotten if you're not here?
Yeah, I won't know. I'm just worried that that's what's going to happen. So
if you was to pass, would there be a time frame that you'd want before your wife could meet someone else?
Oh no, that's not important to me. That's not that important.
Trust me, I'm leaving my mark on this planet. Trust me, I am.
So I've got one more thing to throw out there before we go. There will be a something for the weekend Facebook page and YouTube channel here soon. So just look out for that. It'll be posted on the Soul TV page as well. Just so go and like the page and follow it, and then this will also be available in audio version in the near future as well. So just kind of broadening our horizons a little bit. So be on the lookout.
Sounds good to me. All right, we come to the end of the program. So Thanks, guys, for another great session. Thanks, Roxanne, for the time you've taken to help produce the show and everything you do. As always, last but by no means least, should I say, thanks to all of you out there who's listening and watching on the various platforms. Keep dropping your comments and your views because, as we always say, together you were the 5th host of the show. T, gonna say goodbye?
Bye, everybody. Till next time.
Joey.
Goodbye. See you all in 2 weeks.
Sure. Roxanne.
Bye, all.
My name's Andre. If you like what we do, then check out the JXP Productions page on Facebook and YouTube for more of the same. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Right now, we're about to cut and fade out. This was something for the weekend. It's been fun, but for right now, we're closing up shop.